Hare Krishna, Namaste. Chapter 15 is entitled as Puruṣottama Vidya Puruṣottama Yogam. Sloka 3 and 4, Part 4. Na rūpam asyeha tathopalabhyate, nānto na cādir na ca sampratiṣṭhā, aśvattham enaṁ su-virūḍha-mūlam, asaṅga-śastreṇa dṛḍhena chittvā, tataḥ padaṁ tat parimārgitavyaṁ, yasmin gatā na nivartanti bhūyaḥ, tameva cādyaṁ puruṣaṁ prapadye, yataḥ pravṛttiḥ prasṛtā purāṇī. We have covered 3/4 of these two slokas. The last part of the sloka, tameva cādyaṁ puruṣaṁ prapadye, yataḥ pravṛttiḥ prasṛtā purāṇī, gives answer to how we can cut this tree. After hearing about this mind-blowing tree, Arjuna thinks, "Dear Krishna, I don't have any hope, unable to believe that one can cut this tree by themselves. I have full faith in you, Krishna, but the task that you have given to cut this tree off seems to be mission impossible, because you yourself has clearly said this tree is su-virūḍha-mūlam, very deeply rooted with many roots, and also you very clearly pointed out that I lack detachment, vairagya, and also you know very well that I am in ajnana, in ignorance. The tree is stronger, I am weaker, and it is only when the jnana, the knowledge, is good, meaning without having any contrary knowledge, the acts of detachment will be good. Only with that sharp and strong acts of detachment I can cut this strong tree. But I have weak acts. My detachment is not strong enough. But this tree, from what I heard from you, is very strong. That means the opponent that I need to deal with is very difficult. It seems that fundamentally I fail in the method that you have instructed. Due to my ajnana, ignorance, I lack detachment. With this weak act, how can I even think of cutting this tree, Krishna? Krishna in response says, "Well, Arjuna, you don't need to do it by yourself." "Oh, so should I take help from Dronacharya, Bhishma, etc.? Arjuna, they are also struggling like how you are struggling. If you have to save someone who has fallen into a well, you need to be out of the well to lift them up. That means everyone in the world are struggling to get out of this deep well of samsara. So Krishna, you're going to let me suffer in this deep well, in this ocean of samsara? My dear friend, if that is the case, why even I should be talking to you all this thing? Then what is that solution? Who can help me? Krishna. Krishna in response says, tameva cādyaṁ. Arjuna, I am here. Take shelter at my lotus feet to save yourself. So the answer for the problem that we are in is by taking shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. It is only by the mercy of Krishna that we can cross over the samsara. The fundamental problem for what we are going through right now is due to the dehatma brahma, meaning one's delusion, thinking atma and deha, that is body and the soul, to be one and the same. Because of that, one gets guna-saṅga, association of the gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, and one wants to enjoy the effects of the gunas, and this we discussed in detail in chapter 14. The reason for one's desire to enjoy the gunas is because of lack of knowledge that the deha and atma are not one and the same, they are two different entities. Because of that, it is hard for one to be free from the effects of gunas. So, this viparita jnana, that is the contrary knowledge from the actual knowledge, leads one to guna-saṅga. Therefore, one must ask these questions to themselves. Who puts us into this condition? Who puts us into this body? Who gives us the association of the three modes that comes along with the body? Who remembers and makes sure all my karmas are being rewarded? Because I myself don't remember my good karmas and bad karmas, the good actions and bad actions. Then what to speak of my previous lives? It cannot be the prakriti with the guna can remember all my karmas and trying to pay back, because they are achetana. They are not conscious entity. If it is my own atma that remembers the karma, then I doubt that the atma will pick anything bad for itself. It will make sure only best things happens in its life, and all the bad karmas are taken out of the equation. But it doesn't seem that Atma has that power to pick and choose its own karma. So the question is, who can give us this knowledge by removing the contrary knowledge? Who can free us from the guna-saṅga? The answer is only one who has put us into this condition will be able to give us that knowledge and free us from the guna-saṅga. So the question is, who is that person who put us into this condition? Tameva cādyaṁ puruṣaṁ prapadye yataḥ pravṛttiḥ prasṛtā purāṇī. It is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the Lord who has encaged us into this prakriti based on our karma. Therefore, that is the answer for all the questions that we saw earlier. It is the Lord who puts us into this body, gives us the association of three modes, and makes sure we go through our karma. Therefore, it is He to whom we have to surrender, taking refuge in Him, by which we can cross over the samsara. Now the question is, who is that Supreme Personality of Godhead? Who is that Lord to whom I must surrender and seek refuge in? It is Ādiyam Puruṣaṁ. It is the primeval Lord who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is that Adiyam Puruṣaṁ, primeval Lord, one who has control of everything, under whose order everything gets created and everything gets annihilated again and again, which includes all moving and non-moving beings. So who's that? The answer is well known, and we have seen this already. In the 9th chapter, 10th Sloka, Krishna did say, Maya dakshena prakritihi suyatesa characharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. This material nature, which is one of my energy, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. And it is me who set that rule. And in 10th chapter, 8th Sloka, Krishna said, Aham sarvasya prabhavaha mattas sarvam pravarttate iti matva bhajante enaṁ buddha bhava samanvitaha. That is, I am the source of everything. Everything emanates from me. One who understands this engages in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Well, is there anyone else who is also doing like what you are doing? Or is anyone else who is above you, who made you to do this one? Mattha paratram na anyat kinchit asti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam prottam sutre manigana iva. In 7th chapter, 7th Sloka, Krishna answered this already, that there is no one else who is parallel to me, and there is no one else who is superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. In the sloka, it is clearly said, puruṣaṁ eva prapadye, meaning one must only surrender to Krishna, because he is the primeval Lord, original Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should not go to the devatas, because they themselves are entangled into this samsara tree. How can they help us? We are entangled in this gunamayi boha, in enjoying the effects of the gunas, and it is Krishna, who is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, put us in this condition based on our karma. That means only He can release us from this entanglement. Therefore, there is no point in falling at the feet of other devatas and waste the short lifespan that we have. We need to seek refuge at the lotus feet of Krishna and Krishna alone, with complete faith that He is the only Savior for all of those who are interested to be released from the samsara. How do we know that it is Krishna who has put us into this condition based on our karma? In 7th chapter, 14th sloka, Krishna did mention, Daivihi hesha gunamayi mama maya dhuratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. There, Krishna mentioned this maya of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, has been created by me. None can cross it by their own effort alone. Only those who take refuge in me can cross over this samsara. It is me who have tied the living entities along with this prakriti through the rope of gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. It is not an easy rope to be unknot and get out of this prakriti. It is very difficult. But mamevai prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. One who has surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Something to be noted with this sloka 7.14 and the current sloka 15.4 is over there Krishna said Mam eva, and over here Tameva. In both cases Krishna said to surrender. Over there Krishna said directly surrender unto me. Over here Krishna said surrender unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we don't need to get confused by such terms. It is that Supreme Personality of Godhead who is Krishna himself, because in many places Krishna has directly pointed to himself. And also at this stage, finishing 14th chapter, and we are on the 15th chapter, when Krishna said that Arjuna should not be looking up the sky or searching for who that is. By now, we all should know who that Supreme Personality of Godhead is, who is none other than Krishna himself. Now the question is, how Krishna is going to help us? That is answered in the 10th chapter, 11th sloka. Tesham evanukampartam aham ajñānajam tamaha nāsayāmi atma bhavasto jnana dīpena bhāsvatā. To show them special mercy. Them stands for one who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. I, dwelling in their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Because we already saw, it is lack of knowledge. It is because of the ignorance that all the problem starts. And here Krishna clearly states that he removes the ignorance by the shining lamp of knowledge. And we will see in the future chapter, Krishna will say, Mat chittvā sarvadurgāni mat prasādā tarishyasi. This is in 18th chapter, 58th sloka. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. And also finally, in 18th chapter, 66th sloka, Māmekam sharanam vraja. So Krishna concludes over there, surrender unto me. So there is no question of who that person is. It is very clearly stated, it is Krishna. And it is not only in Bhagavad Gita. Surrendering to Krishna and serving him through bhakti is the essence of all literatures. It is the attachment to sense objects one has from time without a beginning, and the contrary knowledge, which is the source of this attachment, can only be destroyed by Adi Purusha. Therefore, it is Krishna who is Adi Purusha, who tied us into the samsara based on our karma. If we surrender unto his lotus feet, it is he who can relieve us from this samsara. To get rid of our ignorance of Dehatma Buddhi, it is only Krishna who can help us. Now let's connect the dots. By surrendering to Krishna's lotus feet, taking refuge in Him, Krishna removes the ignorance, which means we shine with true knowledge. With that true knowledge, one gets the strong weapon, strong axe called asaṅga-śastreṇa. This weapon is vairagya, detachment. With this weapon of detachment, then one can easily cut off the tree, the samsara. When the tree is cut off, one gets released. When one is released, then can easily realize and see the self. And that becomes the vehicle for him to reach the abode that one reaches will never come back again into this tree of samsara. In the next sloka, Krishna is going to elaborate the state that one attains by taking refuge in the Lord. Na rūpam asyeha tathopalabhyate, nānto na cādir na ca sampratiṣṭhā, asyeha enaṁ su-virūḍha-mūlam, asaṅga-śastreṇa dṛḍhena chittvā, padaṁ tat parimārgitavyaṁ, yasmin gatā na nivartanti bhūyaḥ, tameva cādyaṁ puruṣaṁ prapadye, yataḥ pravṛttiḥ prasṛtā purāṇī. Namaste, Hare Krishna.